Greetings to all you watch aficionados. Welcome to my kind of overview, short-term review. I've only had this for 24 hours, less than 24 hours. I've had this for 18 hours. Kind of overview of this watch, the 11660 Deepsea Sea Dweller, the Deep Blue as it's called, seeing as it's the one which was designed around James Cameron and his expedition to the Mariana Trenches. I think it was in 2012 when he went 11 or 12 kilometers underwater. What can I say on this? On the fact that I've had it for around 12 hours. I haven't even set the time on it. All these watches have different dates and different times. Well, saying that doesn't even have a date. It's a pretty cool watch. It's a really cool watch. It feels really prototypey, and it feels special because of what it kind of represents. It's an extension, I guess, of the original black-faced Deepsea that you can pick up, even though that one's difficult to find itself. But it's an extension of that because it's got obviously the blue and the green Deepsea writing. The blue stands for, the blue that you see in shallower water, and the black stands for or represents the deep dark waters that you might encounter in the Pacific or the Atlantic. And it's kind of a gradient finish to it, the blue and the black. And the green Deepsea represents James Cameron's submersible that he used. I've done a little bit of reading about this watch. I've known about it for a while. I got a call yesterday from my Rolex authorized dealer who said that some Scottish gentleman wasn't able to make it to pick up the watch, and they'd been awaiting his payment for it for a week or so, and it didn't come through. So got a call at 10 p.m. at night. I was there within half an hour to pick it up. Really happy. It's really cool. It's not something that I guess I'd wear every day. I mean, I do see how you could knock this watch around if you keep constantly walking from room to room on a daily basis. I mean, if you're sat in an office, a couple of meetings here and there, it's a nice watch to wear. You might bump into someone who really likes watches. You can have a really good chat. Does it matter what you wear this watch with? Not really. I mean, look, this watch is super pretty. I can wear this with anything. It looks wicked with a suit and a shirt, and it looks less sporty because there is no cyclops. So you've got your date-less watch, you've got your date with cyclops-less watch, and then you've got your date with the cyclops watch, the Sea Dweller 50th anniversary, which is what I looked at in my last review. This watch, I've had it for 12, 15 hours or whatever it might be. I do see where there could have been slight improvements or adjustments by Rolex. The Sea Dweller, which for me is my favourite Rolex watch, has got a wider bracelet. I think it needs a wider bracelet, the Deepsea, because it is quite top heavy. It does really need a wider bracelet. Does the camera pick it up? I don't know, but it definitely is a wider bracelet. The Deepsea has got pretty much the subby bracelet. It really is the subby bracelet. It's pretty much the same size. I actually think that you could probably exchange some links for each other. I'm pretty sure it's the same oyster bracelet that they're using for both watches. It's a very collectible watch, the Deepsea Blue. I think that's kind of the angle from which I bought it from. I didn't buy it to wear it on a weekly basis. Probably a few times a month I'll enjoy it. I haven't even taken the plastic off yet. Saying that, I haven't even taken the plastic off the Sea Dweller yet either, because I'm waiting to see what Rolex will announce with it in Basel World 2018. What else can I say about this watch? It is thick. It's very thick. It's got a helium escape valve, same as the Sea Dweller. Do I like the silver ring lock around it? I could work with it. I guess I've got used to not ever having one like that, but depending on how often I'll wear it, I don't think it will bother me too much. It feels luxury, but it kind of feels a lot more tooly than the Sea Dweller. The Sea Dweller still keeps that Submariner panache about it. This one is kind of going down the Breitling route. I guess the Seawolf Avenger, which is a watch I have. Again, that's a 3,000 meter watch as well, the Seawolf Avenger. This is a 3,900 meter watch. Rolex make a lot more of a deal about this watch, 3,900 meters. I mean, my Breitling that I have, it wasn't even expensive. It was my first Swiss watch. I love it to bits. It's a 3,000 meter watch. You know, it's just there. I mean, it's a massive watch. So Rolex, I believe Rolex developed this with Comex, even though it's not all, you know, officially Comex certified in terms of any of the writing. I mean, it's like a small paragraph in there, really. You know, they have worked with Comex in terms of developing things here. Again, same 120 clicks as the other watches in the background. I mean, also just to give you a feel about, in terms of how different this watch is in terms of size compared to the Sea Dweller, which I called a beast. I called this watch a beast in my last review. That watch is not a beast. This watch is a beast. In fact, it's like a monstrum. I mean, just to give you an overview or an indication of the difference, this is a box for the Sea Dweller, 50th anniversary edition, and behind it is the box for the Deepsea. So I think that kind of gives you an overview in terms of the difference in size. And I actually think that the Sea Dweller could have done with that box, because that Sea Dweller is obviously just been stuck in a Submariner box, and it's a little bit too big for that watch, or for that box. I mean, it barely closes. So anyway, guys, you know, my reviews aren't really around the technical aspects of these watches and explaining you everything about the insides and internals. I mean, I know this has got a 31-35 movement, which is the same movement as a Submariner date. You know, this has got the 31-30 movement. This one, I think it's, I don't know, I think it's a 32-35, something like that. It's got a 72-hour reserve. I mean, my overviews or reviews aren't really based around that. You can get that information anywhere else. I kind of like to look at it from an angle of me wearing it. You know, I'm a guy who's 6'4". I've got 7 3/4 inch wrists. I guess when I'm warm, sometimes they're 7.5 if I'm a bit colder. And this watch looks alright on my wrist from a top-down perspective. Side, yeah, that's like a frying pan, in fact, on my hairy arms. They always look a lot more hairy. Again, I say in the video, it's quite funny. But you know, feel free to add any questions in the comment section. Happy to answer it. I will be keeping this watch for sure. I'm not really into sort of buying and selling. I know that Rolex, or the market, you know, Rolex is what it is for a lot of people because of the grey market, and I guess that's why people are so interested in them. I'm not really into that. I've sold Rolex watches before because I genuinely needed to have money for, let's say, a house deposit or whatever it might be. But you know, the Hulk that I sold for that particular purpose, I'm struggling to reacquire, even though I've been on the list for a while and I was promised it this February. Anyway, I've offset my my disappointment and my misery and my sadness by buying the Deepsea Blue. Another point worth mentioning, which I quite like, is when you just look at a Deepsea Blue, it kind of just looks like a Submariner 2-line, you know, Submariner no date. And then it's only when you look at it closely you see that there is a date, in fact. And it highlights another point, really. It highlights just how much the cyclops helps you in terms of reading date. I don't hate the cyclops. I don't love the cyclops. I like, you know, for a lot of people it defines Rolex. But the thing about the cyclops, like I've said before, is you can't always see the date from every angle that you're wearing the watch. And you know, I think you can tell the time from pretty much most angles on a watch. You can tell the time. A date, you kind of just gotta whack it this way forward. Well, the cyclops, that is. I mean, you can see the date from an angle here. That's fine. But anyway, I need to pop to Rolex because you know, you're buying it at almost midnight yesterday. I totally forgot to get the bracelets adjusted. I think the gentleman just thought that that was it. Perfect. Tall guy. He doesn't need any adjustments. But thanks very much for watching. Hopefully in the next few weeks I'll finally get my hands on a Batman or the Hulk, and I'll be able to review those watches. Thanks guys, all the best. So I just wanted to do a quick add-on to the video you just watched in reference to the Deepsea. I have to keep concentrating in terms of not mixing up the names of these watches. I keep calling the Sea Dweller the Deepsea and the Deepsea the Sea Dweller. Quite difficult. I mean, they're both Sea Dwellers, I guess. But just wanted to sort of compare the size difference, and as you can see, the Sea Dweller does definitely have the thicker oyster bracelet. I mean, the Sub and the Deepsea have exactly the same bracelet in terms of thickness, and there you see a kind of, you know, the camera doesn't pick it up so much, I guess, because of the lighting, but it has a thicker bracelet, the Sea Dweller 50th, and I think that's what this watch should have had. But it doesn't matter. I mean, some people like it, some people don't. But that was my only criticism of this watch, and it'll probably be the bracelet. Quite a thick boy, but you know, what do you expect when it's reaching depths of 4,000 meters almost? Saying that, Rolex always make everything, I think, plus 10 or 20% in terms of their depth ratings. So you know, these are clearly the sort of more tool-like watches, tool-looking with the markers going all the way around. Both the Sea Dweller and the Deepsea, and my pretty lady, the Sub ceramic no date, is just such a crisp, lovely, beautiful watch. Sort of to emphasise again, in terms of the box size differences, massive in this respect. So that's kind of all I wanted to add, really. So thanks very much, guys, for watching. All the best.